Awesome.
Welcome to Unsupervised Goobers, everybody. My name is Dipper.
I'm Nick.
And this is Briel O'Cyrus.
Briel just made a short horror film called Don't Go Inside, and we're going to talk about it today because I stumbled upon him on TikTok, and I was just fascinated by the premise of it. And then it dropped Friday. What was it? Friday the 13th. Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
Friday the 13th. A good time. And me and Nick both watched the movie. We actually were checking it out before we started. And the first thing I have to ask about this movie is there lore behind the place that you went, or was this an original idea that you came up with?
Oh no, there was lore there. Yeah, no, for sure, there was lore there. So, like, just for full context, that the movie Don't Go Inside, it took place on a hiking trail titled the Iron Goat Trail, which is located in the Sky Commons, Washington, pretty close to Stevens Pass. It is widely known as the most haunted hiking trail in the state of Washington and among one of the most haunted hiking trails in the country, United States. I didn't know that. It's within a few days of recording is when I learned of that part of the history. But the history behind it is there was back in 1910 there was an avalanche that unfortunately caused the lives of a reported 96 people who died in a train crash because of the avalanche. And so it happened where we were located at, and the story was supposed to be two guys going on a ghost hunt. One friend decides to invite his buddy to go to a ghost hunt, to go and do some ghost hunting on a haunted goat trail, on the hiking trail. But one of the friend who invited my character, was slightly possessed, and he was going to take my character there, but eventually lead him to being by himself. And then, the fictional aspect of it was he was going to then turn on me, and it was going to lead to my death. But once the movie progressed and we had actual shit to start happening to us, that's when I had to stop the recording after the incident inside of the tunnel, where we literally ran for our life. And I stopped the recording once we were out there, and I told him, dude, I got to change this immediately. And he was down for that because we weren't banking on things. We knew the vibe was going to be creepy, especially considering my boy had been there for like 4 or 5 other times with his friends, because it's a beautiful hiking trail, but you were told to not go inside those tunnels for a reason. And that's kind of like the lore of where the title came from, was don't go inside, don't go inside. That's kind of what kind of went through my mind. And yeah, it lived up to it. We were at we didn't even venture the majority of that trail. We only ventured, I think, to that portion, but I think there were several other tunnels and caves spread throughout there. And yeah, no, we weren't willing. It was dangerous, man.
I have to ask then, because that location, it looked just super cool. I actually watched it with my girlfriend and me, and her are super duper into found footage stuff, and that area just looked so cool. And you'd mentioned that there was an avalanche that had cost a lot of people's lives. Was that the tunnel you were in? Was the reason that tunnel was all like messed up? Was that part of the avalanche? Like, is that like why it looked like that?
That I'm not certain, because I know there was other portions. I do know that the area we were at is where I was told that there were deaths that were there, but there are also other tunnels that was throughout the mountain that I didn't get to venture because we ran away. But from what I was told, that some deaths occurred. So, but I wouldn't be able to know for sure. But I do know though that when I was there, I picked up a lot of voices on the actual camera itself. Of course, for the film, I enhanced the audio so it can be heard more, which you can hear as clear as day once you plug in your headphones to the camera and you go back and you look at the footage. You can actually hear it. In fact, earlier today, on the 18th February, I just put a video up on TikTok and just on social media, just promoting a scene in vertical. And right at the opening of the video, you can actually hear a voice. That wasn't my voice. And it wasn't my buddy's. It's my baby boy here. It wasn't my voice, and it wasn't my friend. But you can hear it. It made some weird, strange noise. It's on there right now. Feel free to go and check it out. Hey, hi, Papa. Say hi. That to answer your question.
No, that's excellent. That's so cool. I actually wasn't aware that it was like partially like true. Like that makes the film even cooler to me than the fact that like it had changed like while you were filming because you actually had like cool paranormal experiences. I'm a huge paranormal guy. Like I love that stuff, and I love to be scared, and I love to be scared of ghosts, and I'll always I just find that stuff so interesting. So I actually really love the fact that the movie had changed because of the experiences that you were having there. That's actually super cool and frightening.
No, dude, it was the most terrifying experience I've ever had in my life. And I've jumped out of planes, man, going skydiving. And apparently that's supposed to be really scary. It kind of was, but it kind of wasn't at the same time. It was more exhilarating. But this was a whole different animal because I went there with the premise of when I pitched the idea to my buddies, where I'm thinking, okay, I want to shoot this type of film. I'm in Washington. I might as well make a horror film, but I like the idea of like a psychological thriller because I'm not so much about blood, guts, and gore as much as I am about like messing with people mentally. And and so I had this idea of, okay, what if we do it like Blair Witch style, but paranormal as well, paranormal activity, and blend the worlds together. And you got a couple of guys that's going to go out and onto a hike and do a ghost hunt. Like, what do you think about it? The guy who I was with is an actual paranormal investigator, and he's on a team dedicated to doing paranormal investigations. And so I'm just I'm the director and I'm the writer, and I got the vision and the acting portion of it as well. But he was for real about it, and he knew all of these areas all throughout Washington. And that area we filmed at was 2 hours and like 10 minutes away from where I reside currently. And I almost was like, I don't know. I'm like, but once we got there, I'm like, well, we're here now. And I documented a lot of the experience just for people who would follow my journey. I recorded, hey, I'm here. I posted that, and then everything else was history. But the real crazy part about it was when we got there and ride that mountain. Right at the entry point, there was this man and this woman with this dog, like a big French bulldog, and Bulldog you could see the leash was being stretched forward because the dog was seemingly trying to run away from something. And he was like 6'4". He wasn't muscular, but he was really heavy. But he was being pulled by the dog, and he told us that he just seemed to be scared. And this was at the beginning, as soon as we got there, where there was nothing supposed to be haunted or anything. It's just the only thing you see there is a red train, which is what I showed on the video, on the movie. But yeah, it was terrifying, man. Just a lot of the stuff that I didn't include in the movie just didn't link up with the story that I was trying to tell. But there was another cave we approached, and my Eli, he saw something within that cave, and then we just kept on hearing voices, and I was seeing things, and then on the footage itself, and it might have to be if people put in headphones, they will hear it clear as day. Specifically, when we showed up to the tunnel the first time, and right when I put the camera down and I walked in front of it, you can hear something in the background. Then you can hear like a footstep or something, and I react immediately. But when it happened initially, when I looked, when I was there with Eli to put the camera down, I saw this girl wearing some sort of like, it looked like, I think, white clothes, but she had like long dark hair. But it was like a blink of an eye and she disappeared. There was another incident, man. If you watch the film all the way to the end, you will see I had Polaroid images scanned into those were real pictures. I burnt them right on camera, which is what I included in the film as well. So that was a one shot go. I directed my wife to, hey, we want to do this. She gave it kind of a little of her own flavor, but the vision ultimately was my vision, but she helped me with that. And I said, we only got one shot. I'm gonna burn these pictures. We can't. This is too creepy. I kept the pictures for like a week. Additionally, kept it face down, buried under my computer and the thing, because on each picture, Eli took 7 pictures, and on each picture, there was something captured. There was a skull face, clear as day in one of them. Another one, there was like this black sort of mist that appeared darker than the darkness that was the picture was taken on initially. Because when he took the picture, it was in pitch black. And for those who don't know, right, the Polaroid pictures, it's just, people who take pictures, it comes right out right immediately. You got to give it time to develop.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you all know that, but just in case the viewers are like, what's a Polaroid?
We're too young for this.
It's the fun way. It's the fun way to take pictures back in the day, kids. It's
Yeah.
awesome. You can get modern day ones, but it doesn't feel the same sometimes.
Nah, man. I do. It was just a creepy experience, and I caught something. But the one I got to share this with you all too. The picture of me, the last picture that I showed on the film before the movie was over was an image of me, and there was a lot of activity that happened. I talked to a real paranormal investigator. That phone call that happened on the at the end of it, that was a real conversation. I called her up.
That's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah. I talked to her. I said, "Hey, this is kind of what I want to do. Are you available to do these things?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of the pictures ready to go in email format, or I can send it to you a text or email." This is what I'm telling her before I hit record. She said, "Okay, you just do it through email." So, okay, cool. Remember that piece, because I'm not going to show you any pictures until I hit record. I go action and we record. And that's what we did. I hit action. And so everything that she was saying it in real time. Her reactions to what she was saying was actually and so, because I wanted to capture that. Oh, my bad. I see Derek wants to say something. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just pulling my mic closer. I was actually I'm like invested in the story because it's really cool that you got an actual fucking paranormal investigator to be in the movie to actually talk about this in real time. I was just adjusting my microphone. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. Yeah. But I will say that makes that ending, like, honestly, so much cooler. Like, holy shit, that is awesome. I wasn't sure if that, like, I had no idea that this was like kind of like a partial documentary almost in a way.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah, man. And I know, and I remember when I was recording it, but once we were done and we were in the car ride back home, Eli and he was like, "Man, there's going to be people who don't believe it." I'm like, "No, that's fine, because it's presented as a movie and it's going to kind of bridge the gap between fiction and reality." But the idea is for it to be as genuine as possible. Some people will believe it, some people won't. If they're interested, I would be more than happy to send raw footage, like the actual raw copy, unedited versions, just to send it to them. There's some paranormal investigators who liked what they saw to a point to where they invited me to do an investigation with them. And that was supposed to be February 9th, but we were prepping to go to San Francisco on February 12th. So we wanted to keep our energy restored. And I was also really just frightened from the experience that I had. So I didn't know if I wanted to do it. My wife was going to go and do the investigation, but they ultimately had to reschedule it because something went south with it. But yeah, it was real, man. That last picture that was of me, I'll have to, I think what I'm going to do is I'll record a video and I'll share it on social media. But on that picture, there was actually something that was really unique because one of the paranormal investigators that I talked to at a dinner, I showed him the actual real life Polaroid picture itself. I handed it to him. He looked at it. He investigated it. He said, "What is that in the middle?" Because you couldn't really tell. And it was different color. It almost looked like burnt paper or something. And we couldn't determine what it was. There was one thing right behind me where if you looked at the picture, it looked like there was a body standing right behind me, but in the tunnel. And if you zoom in on it, you can actually see it's a light. It's a gold light. On the outline, right where the light was, it was of a helmet. And so it was determined that may have been a miner's helmet because there were miners who were down there. Panned back, zoomed back, you can see the outline of a body. So it also looked like a human that's standing in the tunnel staring right at us. If you look at the picture, my promotional picture that I did of the poster, I didn't see this until I was actually doing the poster just a week ago to create a thumbnail for the YouTube video because I had the vertical one that was just good for social media. But I'm like, oh yeah, I need a horizontal one. And so Eli, he took a horizontal picture and a vertical one of the tunnel because I asked him to do that because I knew I wanted to do a thumbnail and I wanted to do a poster. But I didn't actually do the horizontal version for the thumbnail until about like a day before I posted it. But when I went to go do it, I realized that in the tunnel, because I zoomed in to capture the tunnel so I can put the "Don't Go Inside" title on the left side with the name and everything else. But the fixation was on that tunnel. But you could see it as clear as day. There is literal eye in the center of that. It's clear as day. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's an eyeball. It looks just like a regular eye staring right at us. And I didn't see that until I was editing the picture. Hey, but you have to zoom in on it. And I wasn't going in there looking for anything. I was just, because the picture was zoomed out because he took it from a distance. I wanted to really put something where, okay, when people go, if they're looking on their cell phones or they're looking on their computer for my movie and they see the thumbnail, I wanted them to really just hone in on the tunnel. Even though my title's going to be on the left side, I want them to hone in on that tunnel. It was only then that I saw that eyeball appear. It was crazy, man. That whole experience was something different where I don't know if I would do it again.
Yeah, I'm the type of dude like I'm the first one to die in a horror movie. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. I'm the first. I'm the first one to die in a horror movie, and the movie was just super awesome. And like towards the end, when you were burning those pictures, like I don't know, this is how it played off to me, and I know it's all how you present it. But when you were burning those pictures, I was like, is he trying to get rid of the thing that's following him? Because to me, it felt like your buddy took you there. Now you have it instead of he's like, well, it's to you now. I'm dipping out of here. I'm deucing later, guy. Like, and then you're like, well, now I'm fucking stuck with this, and you just like, I got to get rid of this now and start burning the pictures, burning the evidence that it's around.
Yep, that's actually pretty damn accurate, man. Because I felt like it was still following me. That even though we did our prayers and stuff, like, hey, you don't have permission to follow us home. Like, I don't know, paranormal investigators say you do stuff like that, so it doesn't follow you. But it still felt a little weird because I had the pictures of everything that was captured. I had all of it. And I'm like, I don't. In fact, when we came home that same day, I gave Eli all the pictures. I didn't even want to keep it in my house. But he gave it back to me the following day because a couple of buddies at my job were interested in, like, hey, what did you capture on that Polaroid? I told them we took 7 pictures and captured something on every single picture. And in fact, I forgot to tell you, on that picture that had me on it, that thing that looked burned, that paranormal investigator at the dinner, he took that picture, he looked at it, he examined it, and he said, and he turned it upside down. And then he said, look at that. And I looked at him like, well, holy shit, dude. I zoomed in on it. I took a picture, zoomed in on it. It is a literal hand holding what looks to be a train ticket. And what's really ironic about that, and the reason why we know it's a train ticket was because he examined it, the intricacies of what it was, and then went back and researched the 1900 or 1910s train tickets, and it matched perfectly. And what made that even more compelling is you can actually clearly see as a hand. It's like a light, like a ghost hand. You can see the wrist, you can see the sleeve, you can see the back of the shoulder, and you can see the long dark hair. But even if your mind are playing tricks on you about, okay, is that really long dark hair? Is that really your shoulder? You can definitely see the hand holding what looks to be a train ticket. And what was more ironic about that was because of the placement of that train ticket. It was right in front of that tunnel where the train was hit by the avalanche. So it all aligned with why we saw what we saw when it was there. So this was both like a movie, but it was also like a documentary where we were doing a ghost hunt and actually captured literal, authentic evidence of paranormal activity at that location, and then burnt the pictures all in the same film. So it was a really really compelling movie. It's like it really truly blended like fiction with reality, and it was fun, but it was scary. It was fun up until we got into the tunnel. You could see the smile on our faces at the beginning. I'm over here all chipper, we're happy, and he was playing to the idea of like being off. That was kind of like how I wanted to present it. Hey, as it progresses, you kind of get more and more creepy, more and more ominous. And there was this one scene where I'm kind of like just looking around. I look at him, and the camera goes back to him and zooms in, and he's just looking at me with this like some sort of hatred. And we were like, "You all right?" And he just kind of turns off and walks off. And so that was kind of like what the story was supposed to be about. And then eventually, once we got to the tunnel, it was supposed to be, boom, I'm by myself. He like ran off and did something, and then I was going to be stalked, and then I was going to be attacked by like the guy in the Wendigo mask. But like I mentioned earlier, everything changed once we were actually inside of that tunnel. What you may have heard, or what you heard when I was in that tunnel, I was about to conduct the EVP session Eli was going to conduct the EVP session, and we're going through there. You can hear these whispers and things. But right before that craziness happened, where we ran away, you can hear, I didn't hear this with our ears, but we heard it on the audio. You can hear footsteps. It's like somebody was walking on with heels on, and it was 3 steps. It was tap, tap, tap. And then a voice said, seat. And then all of a sudden, everything just went crashing down. So what actually happened there was I was holding the camera, and Eli was going to conduct the EVP session. He didn't want to do an EVP session, which was really weird because he's an investigator, but he was really weirded out about what was going on. But I said, we got to get an EVP session. We need this, dude. Like, we're doing a ghost hunt. We need to get one. Oh, I said, okay. So then I hit record. And so he can do the EVP session. He went to go sit down. He sat down, I think, on like a rock or something. I put the camera down, and as he's going to do the session, soon as he opens it up, the meter immediately goes straight to the right, all the way, like it was peaking, and the volume just went to red. And all of a sudden, you just heard, I saw it because I had my headlamp on, but I had the camera down on him, but I had my headlamp on, so I can kind of see what's going on behind him. You see wood and rock and debris start to literally fall off the wall and on the other side of the wall, and it crumbled it inward. And I freaked out, and so did he. And that's when we got up and we booked it, and we were running through everything. And then of course, for the movie, I said, I edited it in a way to kind of give it like a sudden stop. But what kept on happening was we kept running, and we ran through the puddle of water, which came up to about a little over my shin because it was flooded inside. And we were screaming like wild, man, and ran out. And then eventually we got back to where we were kind of out of breath and everything. And I explained like the fucking walls were collapsing on us because it literally was. So there's that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sounds like you had a fucking experience now. Nick, you ask a question because I got more questions too.
Man, well,
if you don't have another one, I have another one.
I actually was looking at that picture, and you can definitely. By the way, the last Polaroid picture is, because I have it pulled up right now. The last Polaroid picture of you is fucking frightening. It is so creepy to look at, and I only have it on my monitor, and I got this like kind of shitty studio set up, so I'm kind of sort of like trying to tilt my head. I can definitely see something.
Hold on,
I can see stuff. I just like zoom in like you guys are doing, or like what you were doing when you were there, or when you had the picture. But there is something there for sure, and that is just a really just scary picture. All those pictures are actually genuinely creepy. Like,
man, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna text Dipper because there was one that we scanned that one in, right? The ones that's on there just for continuity of it looking like it wasn't taken from my camera phone. But I also took one from my camera phone, and that's the one where you can see it much better, because when you zoom in on the ones that's like included in the movie, it has this sort of blurred out version. But in this picture, and I just texted it to you. If you want, you're more than welcome to text it to Nick as well. I mean, not to to Nick as well.
Yeah,
that picture that I'm sending.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me too.
Yeah, in that picture that I'm texting you, it looks like it's still attaching. You'll see what I'm talking about. Once you have it pulled up, once you have it pulled up on Dipper, and then if you could send it to Nick, then I'll explain it as we're looking at it. This is kind of the picture right here that I have pulled up for anyone.
So creepy.
Would you would you possibly consider, like, because obviously this was kind of sort of like half documentary, half fictional, with like the ending and stuff like that, like the ending with the Wendigo masked man. Would you be would you consider like go? I know it was horrifying, but would you consider like going back and actually doing like a proper like paranormal investigation with like a full paranormal team? I'm not saying I could set it up, but I'm just kind of curious, because that sounds so. Again, that stuff's what interests me.
Yeah,
that sounds so interesting and cool, because just hearing the story is so gnarly, and I'm kind of sort of more curious about the real world aspect. I mean, I love the short film, and your filmmaking is definitely there's potential there, like it's there. But I'm so curious, because man, that is just so crazy and so frightening.
Well, I mean,
sorry.
No, I was just gonna tell Nick. I was like, there's another unsupervised goobers episode where we go to this fucking mountain and we check it out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying too.
Look what you've done to us. Look what you've done to us. We're like, we want to go now.
Dude, like I told them, I said I would never go back there, right? But I was afraid. I think now though, with some time, if we had a whole team, and it wasn't just two people, we had a whole team. I'd be down. I'd be fucking down.
more than two people, because that's obviously a lot of like negative energy focusing on two people. And I kind of sort of wanted to the thing that there was in the video whenever you guys were in the cave, it definitely, you can tell, or the tunnel. I don't know why I said cave. The tunnel, like, you know, your phones were. It seemed like your phones are being drained of battery. The camera was being drained of battery, and it seemed like you guys were just being like drained too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like
we were.
You got, and that part was real. Like, was that like that part was real, which is so crazy, and that is very interesting to me. Like, that stuff is so wild.
I was dizzy a lot, man. I told him. He told me, like, communicate anything you feel, right? Like, just so we're tracking what's happening. And so I was adamant about it. Like, when I was dizzy, I was dizzy. When I was feeling like weak, I felt weak. There was a couple of things that I didn't include in the actual movie. Was when we were walking, I somehow, because I was following Eli. I've never been there before, but he had been there 4 or 5 other times. So I would follow him. There was one time when we were actually leaving, before we went back to take the Polaroid pictures. I was following Eli, but then somehow, I don't know why, even looking back at the footage, I'm like, why did I do that? I walked ahead of him and I walked quicker, and then I took a quick right. And then I kept going, and then he said, "Hey, where you going? There's a cliff over there." I said, "Huh?" He said, "There's a cliff that way." I said, "Wait, what the fuck are you?" I said, I don't even know why I was walking over there. And this was after we had ran out of the tunnel. But for whatever reason, I walked in front of him, then I turned to the right and I started walking, and he stopped me just with his voice, and I realized, oh shit. And then I looked over, and I said, sure enough, it was a cliff that I was walking towards. And that wasn't something that I was even like consciously aware of what I was doing. I just felt I needed to walk over there. And then I walked back. I went back on track immediately after that. We walked on this little bridge, and then I tripped, but I caught myself with my left foot. And right here at the left side of my head, like right at my temple, was like a spear-like tree branch. A lot of those trees were like snapped, broken. It was weird, but it was pointed right here, and I almost tripped. I don't know if it would have impaled my head or what, but I certainly would have hit it if I didn't catch myself. And so at that point, I felt like something was actively trying to kill us or trying to keep us. Like, some of the things that I understand about paranormal when you're dealing with evil spirits is that they will actively try to seek ways to kill you, to trap you there, and keep your spirit locked there. That's what I've understood about it, but I've never researched it because I'm like, man, that's not my thing, man. But it sounds intriguing enough. But it definitely felt like something was actively trying to kill us or get me, because Eli had been there. He said he had never seen any of that stuff happen before. And again, like, that hiking trail is beautiful, man. Even like where it was sunny, I'm like, damn, this just looks nice. But it was the calm before the storm. We saw some sign that said 17. He says hi there. A little weird. Oh God. So yeah, man. And by the way, do you all have the pictures yet?
Oh yeah, that's what I was looking at. So if you saw me looking down on my phone, I was looking at the. Oh, sorry.
I want to. Yeah.
I will send it to you right now because I got distracted by looking at it because I was zoomed in.
Yeah. I want to show you this. Like, once you get it, this picture right here, if you look on my screen,
oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was just looking at.
It's just our alarm, Papa. Yeah, so when you flip the picture upside down like this, when you literally just take your camera, your phone, and you turn it on its upside down, and you zoom in to where you see that light brown little ticket thingy, if you take your own hand and you hold something in your hand like a piece of paper, you'll actually see that it's making the same sort of gesture as this hand in the picture. It looks like a thumb, like almost like the right hand, a right thumb perfectly gripping on to that piece of paper, which the paranormal investigator told me was a train ticket. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it's so fucking wild. Right. That's what I was looking at. Nick doesn't have a camera, so you can't see him.
I know, I'm looking at it right now. That's actually what I was looking at when I said I was looking at because you can kind of sort of see it in the film, in the actual short film. It's just hard whenever you don't actually have the actual picture to zoom in on. But I thought I saw something, and that's exactly what it looks like.
Yep. And you can see the hand, you can see the wrist, you can see the black sleeve right down here. And then let me zoom out just a little bit. and you can see it's like an L shape where the white is at is L shape. Looks like their arm is doing something like this, and then it looks like oh no, wait, sorry, it's a little. Thank you, baby boy. Hold on, wait.
The people who aren't watching this on YouTube are gonna be like, "What the fuck are they looking at?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Oh, let me see, baby.
No, but then they can go look up the movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I hope this brings to your movie. I hope people go frame by frame and dissect every frame and be like, I'm going to fucking find a bunch of shit in this movie. Like, there's going to be ghosts. You're going to get screenshots and be like, do you see this thing behind you in this shot?
Yeah. That was legit, man. Like, the dude, he brought out an Aztec death whistle. And I'm like, why would you even bring... like, why
those
would you...
those things are so cool, by the way. I thought that's what that was.
Yep. And he told me, because he didn't tell me when he was going to use it. He just said he brought the whistle. He said, I brought the death whistle with me when we were in the car right there. I'm like, when are you going to use it? He said, I don't know. I'll know when I know. I'm like, okay. And so that when on the film, he didn't tell me he was going to use it. I could see him kind of up there like looking like he had something going on. But then we started hearing a train, which is another weird thing. This is going to be really hard to believe for people. But we were on that, where we were at on that mountain, the train tracks are inoperable. There are no trains that run in the area that we were at. Somehow, some way, there was a train audio captured right on film, and he reacted to it. And so did I, because I said that like the train tracks are intensifying, but there's no trains around there, no trains, and we captured the audio of it. He had an app where it was supposed to say if there's trains nearby, and he said that there weren't trains scheduled to ride around the area. That one, could be a little skeptical, but I know that we didn't see any trains at all on that whole area that we were at. And it was loud, like it was coming from above us. But above us, there were no trains there because that part of the mountain was inoperable with trains. So I can't explain it. I can't, hey baby, I can't with certainty. Okay, Papa, I can't say with certainty that train audio, that train on the train track and the screeching in the rails was paranormal for sure, because I didn't go around and investigate the area to determine, or the mountain to determine, hey, where did that train come from? But I do know that there were no trains, that mountain is inoperable with trains. And
it's
so it was
wild.
just a little strange that happened.
So before you went into this, were you ever skeptical of the paranormal, or have you always believed in the paranormal, or was this just like, fuck this, I don't ever want to do with this shit ever again?
Oh, I had an experience, man, when I was, I think, 15, 16. My parents bought these two African statues, dude, and this African statue always had this ominous vibe to it. Like when my mom would have it on the entertainment center or on the little bar area in our apartment complex. It's not a bar, but it was kind of like, you could put a stool there, you could sit. It was that. And she had these two black statues, jet black statues, not dark skin, but actually black statues from Africa. And it just had such a weird vibe to it. I always felt strange around it. And one day I remember going out and, I think I went out on a date or something when I was younger, and I had the Kodak, the old Kodak camera. Okay, baby, go wash your hands, baby. There's old Kodak. Go ask Abel. Okay? This old Kodak camera, and I would take pictures. I think we took pictures on a date, and then I had a few bits of pictures left, and so I'm like, let me just go take pictures of the home. And at the time, my siblings were at school, and I was at home, so I took pictures around the house, and I took a picture of my entertainment center. When I went to Walmart to go and develop the film, I always check my film before I leave the store. But that day I didn't. And I remember thinking, I'm like, no, I'll just do it at home. And I did it when I got back to my apartment. My mom was at work and my brother and sister were at school. So it's just me. I pull out the camera, the footage, open a little envelope that they brought it, the pictures were in. And I looked at each picture. And when I got to that picture of the entertainment center, I saw that statue, that African statue, blown up on a weird size that it was not in person, but it was in my picture in my entertainment center, and it was floating and it was tilted like 11 o'clock on a regular clock. And underneath the statue was like this orangey, grayish type of mist right under the picture, and in the skull and in the face of the statue, it was and it's jet black eyes, and it was jet black skin. His eyes, it looked like it had like just a horizontal white line going through, like it was supposed to be a flash, but there was no other white area on his body, so it was just strange. And then I showed that picture to my mom, and she didn't believe me, so she put it into my entertainment center, and she took a picture with her old flip phone. And then we did a side by side comparison, and there was no comparison. It was like imagining like if you put, I don't know, like a 2-inch or 4-inch little plushie inside of a spot, and then you take that, but you make it like a stuffed animal size, like a 20-inch one. It was much bigger. And at that point, she took the picture and she burned it in the sink. And she burned it from the middle. And when she burned it, the head of the picture from the entertainment center picture, the head got bigger and bigger, and then it popped, and it was a single steam, and it made this weird sizzling noise. And we put it down the sink and we washed it out, and that was it. And that was the day I was like, damn, this shit is real.
I fucking believe. You're like, I believe after this. Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
wild.
holy shit.
Sounds like you've had some
man.
fun experiences.
Yeah,
man.
Well,
Bro.
before we start wrapping this up, I want you to talk more about yourself. We got to talk about your movie, which was fucking fantastic. Everybody, please go check out. Don't go inside into YouTube. But what other things have you done? Because I saw that you've won some awards. Before we start wrapping this up, I really want the people to know you. So please talk about yourself, talk about your achievements, and talk about what you're currently doing and what you got coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, I know for sure. Thank you both, man, Dipper and Nick. Thank you all so much for just this opportunity and this platform to be able to do it. And yes, please go check out my movie, Don't Go Inside, on YouTube. It's 25 minutes long, and I'm submitting it to film festivals. So I'm curious. I'm just curious to see what happens from there, and we might have a different conversation in a year from now. But we'll see what happens. But as far as me, you may have heard or may have seen, I have children. I have 3. 10-year-old and then 4-year-olds, all boys and all are autistic. Married, going on, it's 2026. So going on 9 years married, been together for 10. Let's see, I'm active duty military right now. I'm in the Air Force specifically. I work as a finance supervisor, spent about 9 years of my 11 years doing behavioral health or mental health, where I helped out patients who have mental disorders or substance abuse disorders. Then the last 2 years I've been doing finance. Outside of that, I was an independent book publisher. I've produced 2 Amazon best-selling authors, and my publishing house was really small, but I would focus on, I focused on really helping out teenagers get their start with being comfortable and confident with doing things on their own. I would show them the way, I would help them, I would give them the platform, and we would do promotions. We would help them with the book, and I would push them out that way. And so just a couple of my authors is Vani Tuwari, which is she just turned 17 on the 15th. And then Flocka M, my niece, who in fact called me right before this recording. And she was another one who I helped become a best-selling author through Amazon. And I've also, I've never been a bestseller, but I've won 26 book awards in my time since I've started doing this in 2020. For context, I've been writing since I think like I was 6 or 7 years old creatively. I do screenwriting. I've also done voice narrations for books. I've done voice acting as well. Not like my boy Nick, but I've done voice acting as well.
No, that's awesome.
Nothing on a professional scale, but was working towards that. Was a performer in theater, an actor as well. A copy editor specifically for books. For people who don't know what copy editor is, there's 2 types of like developmental editing and copy editing. I did copy editing, which were the ones who check for grammatical errors, and make sure punctuations and things look nice. Developmental editing was a little bit tricky for me, so I decided to be a copy editor. Also, let's see what else. Oh, and an author as well, a poet. I write. I did a lot of poetry books. I've published myself 7 books, and 2 of them were poetry books. And 3 of those other books are children's books. And one of those, and then the 6th book was a middle grade horror book, which is called Graveside of Mahogany. And then my 7th book was an activity book for children, which was a coloring book. Let's see. My 2 poetry books is Sacred and Dear Sick Mental Virus. And my children's books it's actually part of a series, the John children's book series. And it is Goodbye, John, John Saves Christmas, and John Visits San Francisco. And as I mentioned, Grapes Out of Mahogany, that's my middle grade horror. And then my activity book, coloring book, it was Fun Times with John, coloring book, Christmas edition. Let's see. And and my podcast, I can't forget that one. And I somehow did. My podcast, which is called the Author's Lounge with O'Cyrus, is a show that's focused on educating, inspiring, and entertaining the young generation of creators and the young generation of writers. My audience demographic tends to range around 12 to 55, but the main piece is 18 to 25. And I bring on people who are creatives, who are professionals in the field of book publishing, or people who are professionals within the confines of the entertainment industry, whether that's in Hollywood or people who make music. I've had a Grammy Award winner she's cool with me, Darlene Coldenhoven. She was a Grammy Award winner. I've also had on Gloria Loring, who's Robin Thicke's mother. I've had on executive producers. It's Dr. Eddie Gamara, who was responsible for which film? Goodness, I can't remember. It's a lot. But him, and then another guy who I've had on who's worked on Avatar with James Cameron and a few other people. And so I mentioned that because I'm like, I guess it sounds pretty cool. But I'm really more proud of being able to have a platform to where I can get eyes on the product. So when I bring in new people who've never been heard or who've never been seen and they want people to hear them, they have at least my platform to come on through and get some variety. So that was really the big piece. I sought out professionals to really help educate the younger ones with this, to give them a platform to help elevate them as well. And so that's pretty much all I can add to it. Content creation. I've been doing content creation since 2007. I started out with doing video games and talking wrestling and then talking anime, comic books and things of that nature. And now I primarily my main focus is on filmmaking, which is what I wanted to do since I was a child, which is, I mean, that sounds pretty cliche because how do you know? Like, I knew whenever I watched Lion King. Whenever Lion King came out, that's when I knew I wanted.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Man.
Hell yeah.
And Dragon Ball, man. So I have a few other books that's not published yet. Where one in particular is called No More Bloodshed. It's pretty much a story of a wolf samurai and his family, and the lore starts in Japan, but it's like Japanese samurais going to war with the Egyptian gods. So
That's fucking sick.
It's his own little
cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, man. So I got many things going, but right now I've decided to pump the brakes on many aspects and I want to do filmmaking and keep my show rolling. So my stuff with my books, I put a hold on it because I really feel like I need to really focus in with doing this. And I had such a great time with, editing and going through that editing process with Don't Go Inside, which I've been doing editing, I think since 2012 or 2013. So I've been doing editing for a long time also. My brother, sister, and we just kind of ran our own little in-house fun studio stuff. But I guess you do it long enough, you get kind of good at it. So yeah, man, that's me in a nutshell, everyone. Briel O'Cyrus it's just my name, Briel O'Cyrus. That's X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Substack. Even my email is brielo'cyrus@gmail.com. So, and my website is brielocyrus.com. So keep it super simple, and thank you all so much.
That's the way to do it.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. This has been so awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Like, seriously, like, I'm glad to know that, like, besides making films, you're very active. It seems like with the young community and trying to get people more into arts and doing things, and that's a very rare commodity. It's a rare commodity in these days because people just kind of overlook that. It's like, oh, I've already kind of like done things. Like, why should I share my wisdom with everybody else? And you're doing that. And I just want to say that I really appreciate you for doing that. We need more people like you in the world to teach our young how to kind of just navigate this space that we live in and get more confidence, because really the biggest thing that will prevent you from getting your dreams is lack of confidence. If you don't have the confidence to do it, to put yourself out there, you're going to hide yourself from the world. And it's really cool that you bring that to the forefront and share it with a wide audience so they can potentially become the next, best director or next musician or next best author. It's just really cool of you to do that. And I'm glad I really stumbled onto you and got to bring you on here and just talk about your movie and talk about who you are as a person. And I just have a lot of respect for you, and I really appreciate you for coming on here and talking to just two unsupervised goobers who just do this.
Dude, no, that's awesome, man. I gotta say too, when I saw the name Unsupervised Goobers, my wife, she calls me Goober, right? And so I thought that this was something with her. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, I might be in the wrong. So you may have. I came in, but I left because I was tripping. I'm like, wait a minute, no, but I realized, oh, that's just it's a pure coincidence, man. But no, thank you both for your time and your kind words, and for stumbling upon me as well when you did, Dipper, man. I just what you did and what you showed. I showed my wife that following morning. I said, look, someone did this, which was the video of you showing. I've seen it on TikTok where people take other people's stuff and they say, hey, you should check this person's channel out. But I've never had that happen for me. I've had people, like retweet or reshare it, but not actually take my video of a person speaking over me or showing the clip of me and then going and saying, hey, you should check this person out. I had never had that happen to me. And it felt really good. And it's some more validation. And I want to say one more thing while on the topic of validation. I was in San Francisco with my family over the weekend, and we went to this park called the Palace.
Oh no, Nick, did he cut out?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Last thing you were saying was something about San Francisco, but I think he has to hit record again.
I just hit record, so sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody.
Yeah,
sorry about that,
everyone. My internet, it just decided to say, screw you, screw your message. Bro, no, I'm kidding. But I was gonna say that, like speaking of validation, while I was out there at that Palace of Fine Arts, random spot I had never been to before. But my wife's just doing her photography. She loves photography, which shout out to my wife, Melissa Castillo, who does her exceptional photography, and I'm convinced of her to like utilize her social media to really just showcase what she does as an artist. But we were at the Palace of Fine Arts, nowhere near the conference, and it was at night. I think it was like around 7 something at night. It was dark and it was raining. And while she went off to go do her thing with taking pictures, and I'm with my children, and I'm trying to take pictures of them doing selfies, and it's fine. There's this young man, he who looked like he was probably 16, 17 years old, just came to me.
Oh no. I think his internet.
No.
His internet hates him so much. It's go over there and beat it up. Pop, 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 pop.
Yes.
Here goes again. Why is?
Okay. It's okay.
Okay. And I said, what? I said, what are you all doing out here? Blah 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 blah. This is their first time. They're enjoying it. I said, what about you? I said, I'm out here on business. What kind of business? Just a writer. I was here for a writers conference. Oh, what do you write? I said, I write books, blah, 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 blah. I'm a screenwriter as well. I actually just wrote and directed this movie that I just released on Friday, or a couple of days ago, what I told them. I said, what's the name of your movie? And I said, it's called Don't Go Inside. And then this young lady who was with them, who looked like she was probably 14, 15, said, oh my God, I've heard of the movie. And she started to describe the promo that she saw. She said along the lines of like Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch Project. Like, yeah. Wait, what?
That's so cool, man.
And she said,
that's so awesome.
I saw it on, I think she said TikTok. I'm like, that is wild. Wait, how the hell did you? Yeah, and so she said she was waiting to see the movie. And so her friends got excited, and I pulled out and I showed the picture. She said, yep, that's the one right there. Like, oh my God. And so it was just a cool experience because it just validated to me that, yeah, I should probably keep doing this because there's more stories to be told, but sometimes you kind of get imposter syndrome. You're like, I'm not sure. And you never know what people are going to do. I don't do it for the idea of like, am I making crappy movies? Because everybody I think is going to have a crap project. It's inevitable at some point. But you just keep going, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I learned. Just learned, and it may or may not resonate with people, but you just got to try, and you just got to keep going. But that experience with that random young lady telling me that she saw my trailer, and we're all the way at the Palace of Fine Arts on a random Sunday night, and it's dark out, and it's raining, and I'm nowhere near a conference, and they have no inclination of what conference I was at, just for her to say, I've heard of your movie, and they want to watch it that night. It was really nice to hear, because I didn't even have to break down what the movie was about. She told me what she saw as I said it, and because I had been doing like active promos throughout the weekend, it's no surprise that it was it was caught, but it was really surprising that it was somebody all the way out where I was at that caught it because I would only expect like maybe a few hundred people would see it. You just never know, and so that just right there just gave me just another boost of yeah, this just do it. You can do this. You can do it. And like you said, Nick, like potential. I definitely felt the potential as well, just in doing it, honing into my style and things. And I just want to see where this takes me, man.
No, absolutely, man. And I think you got a pretty prosperous future in this sort of thing. It was a really, really cool film, and I think you're gonna go good places, my man.
I
Yes,
fucking
sir.
agree.
Thank you so much.
I fucking agree. So I'm gonna leave everybody on this last message. Pursue your dreams. Put your mind to what you want to do. He's proof. He did it. He made a great fucking short film. You never know what you could do unless you try. That's it. That's my message. That's my message for everybody.
Yeah. Thank you all so much, man. I love this. This was amazing, man. I hope to stay in touch with you both. You both have a really cool vibe about yourself, man. And
thank you.
Definitely want to use your music. Yes, sir.
We're
Definitely
best friends now. We're best friends now. You're friends with us
yes,
now.
Sir.
Your next film, when your next film drops, we'll get you back on here and we'll talk more about your next project. I'm always down.
Absolutely.
You stay in contact with us.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was gonna say the idea for the next one. I already have something written down, but just so I can say it to you all, the idea is to somehow turn something with tic-tac-toe into something exciting. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but tic-tac-toe is what came about. So I'm gonna see what I do with that. It'll be a nice little fun project, but I'm curious to see what I'm gonna do with that. So just thought I'd announce that to you both.
That's a cool premise. I actually really like that. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm fucking. It sounds so sick. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being on. Everybody, please go check out Don't Go Inside. It's on YouTube. It's 25 minutes. You have the attention span for it. Please go watch it. I've been Dipper.
I've been Nick.
I've been Briel O'Cyrus.
And everybody, you have a great night, and we love you all.